Forgot to do something. Welcome, guys. Let me just get Instagram here. Forgot to do something. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Recording a podcast today. All right. And obviously not ready. Sorry, guys. Oh, is it the weekend yet? Just want to add one more thing into my notes here. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. Check, check, check. Let's record a podcast, shall we? I think we should. Why not? Okay. All right. Okay, so I was just looking over something I got from a client a while back, and it just made me so excited. You know, every time there is a success for one of my clients, it's so personal to me. I feel so proud of them, and I know the work it's taken to get there. So this is from Ashley D, and she said, after working with me, I feel I have more acceptance of myself. I feel empowered as a woman. Yes, girl. And as a mother, I feel more grounded with what I have been through and what that means in my life and what I can go through again. So I love this feeling empowered as a mother and a woman. And I want to touch on this today. I don't know about you, but do you ever sit and think, what is my purpose? Like, what am I doing? I've been changing diapers and sending kids to timeouts for so many years now. I am busy every day, all day long, but what am I really doing? This job of motherhood, it takes a lot. Not a lot, it takes everything you have and more. And I don't know about you, but I thought when I left my high-stress competitive career that I would just waltz into motherhood with the greatest of ease and just dance my way through. You know, I had all these grand plans that are so funny now. Like, I was going to make all homemade baby food. I would picnic with my I would picnic with my kids in the park every day. I planned to sew their clothing. Like, are you laughing yet? And I even had a list. I think I had a list as I was pregnant with my first kid, still working in TV news, and I had a list of like things I'm going to do when I start staying home with my baby. And on the list, I remember, was start my own vegetable garden because I've always wanted to do that. And I thought I would have so much spare time. Ha ha, right? Fast forward 11 years later to today, still haven't started that vegetable garden, guys. And, you know, I think it all boils down to this, and I'm going to get into a post that is so relevant to what I think you might be feeling right now, and certainly what I've felt over the years. But it really came down to this for me. This was just last week. We got home from school, and I really try to wrap up my workday. By the time I pick up my kids from school, I'm lucky enough to have a job that I love, joy coaching and podcasting and doing this thing that I'm doing right now. And I structure my life so that it's really part-time or less right now. Anyway, so we get home from school, and this is like my time that I put the phone down And what I've started doing is just sitting on the couch with nothing to do, no phone distracting me, there's no TV on. And before I know it, one kid trickles over, and then another kid trickles over. And the next thing I knew, all 4 of my kids were just sitting with me on the couch, snuggling, doing nothing in particular. We were talking about who knows what, nothing of relevance or nothing that I even remember now. But I do remember what that felt like for me and probably for my kids too. I remember sitting there with my kids on the couch thinking, this is by far my most important job ever. And even though you might feel that way about your motherhood, that you know it's the most important job ever, you know that it's the best job ever, you know that this is what you want to do and maybe dreamt about for years before it became a reality. But then you have the flip side of, you don't always like it all the time. You've lost your sense of purpose. You've lost connection with you. You know, I think it's just so relatable to be a woman today who questions, what is my purpose? What am I doing here? I've seen so many of my personal friends and also my clients and also myself fall into this feeling of, I'm busy all day, but what am I really doing? Before I left my career, you might feel my job was important. My job was respected by strangers. Now, you might feel I'm chasing babies or demanding little kids or big kids with attitudes, and woe for the attitudes. I'm doing all these things that are important, I know, but I have so much more to give. I understand that catch-22 because you have so much more to give, but right now, the kids are taking all of your time and focus, the family, the household, all this good work. But you do have so much more to give. And I want to tell you something. You're still relevant. That's actually the name of a post I wrote about this exact topic a while back, and I'll share it in the episode notes. It's called, Hey Mama, You're Still Relevant. But you are. You are still relevant. And I know you may be sitting and listening to this blah, 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 blah. And I know you may be sitting and listening to this episode, wearing your pajamas, you haven't showered in days, and you're thinking, I am not relevant. Look at me. You are. You are still relevant. And I know what it's like to feel lost in motherhood. But I want to tell you from the other side where I am now with kids who are a teeny bit older, and they can wipe their own butts. And when it's time for their birthday, they don't care where I'm at the party. I don't see them the whole party, right? We just celebrated my 11-year-old's birthday, and I didn't see him the whole time we were at the dirt bike track. It's a new reality. I love it. My kids are growing. My kids are evolving. But there will be a time when you have the capacity to get back to you, to reconnect with your spark and your purpose. And that is exactly what I help my private coaching clients do every single day. And if you'd like customized private one-on-one direction on this, head to my website, shejustglows.com. Click on the coaching page and you can learn more about what I offer and how to connect with me. But my clients come to me feeling stuck, feeling like, where's my passion? Where's my purpose? What do I even enjoy doing? That's a relatable one, isn't it? I've found myself there too. What do I even enjoy doing? I don't even know. I'm at a loss. If I had 2 hours to myself today, I don't even know what I would want to do. I've been there. And we work and we have homework and when we work together one-on-one, we work, we have homework, we have sessions, we get you back to finding what makes you glow again. Because I'm going to tell you one thing, and if you hear nothing else today, I want you to hear this. That spark inside of you is not lost. It's still there. It's just been covered up in mommy goo. We're going to find it again. It's still in there. We will uncover it. And I'll help you do that. So today I want to share a post I wrote several years back. It's all about motherhood and purpose. Let me ask you guys something. Have you tried going back to work after taking time off with your kids? Like, have you tried going back to work after staying home with your kids? Oh my gosh, when some of my friends were trying to go back to the workforce, this was several years ago, it is not easy. I mean, it's a whole other world out there now. So I wrote this post inspired by that struggle and that chapter. It's a theoretical letter I wrote, and it's called "To the Employer Viewing My Stay-at-Home Mom Resume." Here's what it says. I've often pondered what it would be like to return to the workforce after being a stay-at-home mom for several years. While I know I've moved mountains in the time I haven't worked, my proof of performance would never show on a traditional resume. Okay, so here's the letter. Dear Sir or Madame, attached you will find my resume. I'm sure you will have a few questions. Well, really just one question, as all other potential employers have. Why the substantial time gap in your work experience? Yes, it's true. I haven't had a real job in more than 3 years. Please let me explain. Prior to 2011, I was a TV news reporter and anchor. I'm not sure if you know, but it's one of the most competitive jobs on the planet. I wasn't very well known or even extremely talented, but I was good enough to keep my job for over 8 years, and I was even nominated for an Emmy once. But when I gave birth to my first child, everything changed. I decided to stay home with him. On my resume, that time is represented by an expansive white space. But I think you should know I actually have been working really hard at being a mother. In truth, I'd probably try to return to my previous job, but there are some huge problems with working in TV news and most competitive or relatively well-paid professions that require a 4-year degree. I would be working 50 plus hours a week during odd hours, weekends, and holidays. And even during my time off, I'd be expected to be available 24/7 to respond to an unending stream of work-related emails, texts, and phone calls. That just doesn't work for my life anymore. Right now, since all you can see is a huge white space on my resume, I'd like to fill in that blank by sharing the skills I've acquired in the last 3 years. Although I haven't been part of the workforce, I have been a force that with the help of a small village is creating something really, really important. I'm an extremely hard worker. For instance, when my newborn wouldn't sleep for almost a week straight and my husband was out of town on business, I didn't give up. I found a book about sleep training, read it cover to cover, and within a few nights, my son was sleeping. Not that it's of any interest to you, but I also happen to be a great negotiator. I can convince a toddler to eat broccoli, to go potty on the toilet. Is it go potty on the toilet or in the toilet? Probably want it in the toilet, right? Not that it's of any interest to you, but I also happen to be a great negotiator. I can convince a toddler to eat broccoli, go potty in the toilet, and wear shoes outside because I am dedicated to what I want. I'm also great at compromise. I'm growing in patience. In fact, one day last week, my baby was throwing a tantrum on the floor while simultaneously pulling my yoga pants off as I was trying to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I was about to lose it, but instead, I closed my eyes and took a deep breath because I didn't want to scream at that precious little person down there. I always complete a task. When my son didn't want to share his yellow dump truck with his friend at the park, I had 3 different talks with him that eventually shaped his decision to let his friend have a turn. In those 20 minutes, I helped mold the character of someone who will live far longer than I. And that legacy goes well beyond breaking a big story or interviewing the governor. This might also be a good time to mention that I'm great under pressure. When I was a reporter, I stayed calm amidst even the most impossible deadlines and breaking news situations. And now, as a mother, I'm able to lace my frayed nerves into a soft blanket of calm when my children are having simultaneous tantrums on the floor of Publix. Well, maybe 80% of the time, but that's still pretty good. So you see, although my child rearing years are represented by a void on my resume, in my life, they actually represent the richest, deepest, most successful, yet challenging chapter thus far. Come to think of it, in the last 3 years, I've had plenty of successes that have no place on my resume. I can carry another person in my body for 10 months and then sustain them for a year more. I can make up the words to a lullaby off the top of my head. I can coax a baby to sleep with nothing more than the sound of my voice. I can look into my child's eyes and speak the most affirming words he'll ever hear in his life, and then send him into the world with the knowledge that he is valuable and strong and capable of whatever he decides to work for. I appreciate you taking the time to consider my work experience. I realize that on paper, it may appear I haven't made any valuable contributions in recent years, but I hope this letter has shown that my worth has actually grown exponentially. Sincerely, a stay-at-home mom. P.S. Please know there will be no hard feelings when you discard this letter and decide to hire a 20-something who doesn't mind living for their job. That's a wrap. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A little tongue-in-cheek, but isn't it the truth? Have a great day. Bye.